What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Heroclix video. I know it's been a while, but back. And today we're going to talk about the Sky Tyrant Menace that has been rampaging through both modern and bronze, competitive play, casual alike. If you're playing in any events, we have found out that just looking at the results of like some high-level online tournaments, or even at the store from our events for running Bronze Age, and even at other kind of local spots, a lot of teams that are using efficient attackers usually gravitate towards figures like Sky Tyrant, because right now primary attackers are dropping in points, whereas before they used to be 80 points, 100 points, maybe more. Now they're like 40, 50 points, 60 points around there for a primary attacker, which is insane because not too long ago, 50 points was either secondary attacker or just a support piece. So, a lot of discussion has been going on around, especially at our store and around the, local areas that run kind of like high-level events, especially for bronze for us. A lot of people that build teams and they kind of like talk to each other. The joke has always been, but can you beat Sky Tyrant? That's always like the question that comes after you share your team, or it's either that or what do you do against Sky Tyrant? Of course, what people are saying when they're saying that is, what do you do if you lose map and you go up against a Sky Tyrant? Because Sky Tyrant, that guy's a beat. That guy can just, if you're just playing one, that thing can just wreck everything. If you're playing two, it's even crazier, right? But Sky Tyrant is like a team killer just by himself, which is insane. So we're gonna go over what makes him so good, and maybe a couple strategies against him. But one of the main things is that makes Sky Tyrant so good is you can pack. I don't know how they did it. It's good design, but also might be a little too strong. But they packed so many things into this little 4-click 50-point character that it's almost like the clown car of Heroclix, where just a little car, and then all these, it's just packed with everything. It just keeps coming, there's more things that keep coming out of the car, and it's kind of like Sky Tyrant. It's just like all of these things that you need to make this a very good and efficient piece. So let's look at some reasons why Sky Tyrant's really good, or really good. I mean, the best piece in the format, I would almost say. And then we'll go over maybe some strategies. So first thing is, let's look at the fact that he has good offensive stats with an efficient point value. He's 50 points, and keep in mind we're looking at him at 50 points, not 100, because if you're going to play him at 100, you might as well play 2 at 50. It's better. You're getting 4 attack instead of 2. So he's got good offensive stats, right? Already an 11 attack with 3 damage, with high movement, and with penetrating attack and quake. So we already got that out of the way. Then he has a full move charge with flurry, exploit, quake. You pair that with the great stats, and this guy's hitting almost anything, right? Of course, the trait where he gets a +1 attack if the defender shares a keyword with him makes him even better, because now he's attacking with a 12 attack, 3 damage. And this is just, in a vacuum. Everything that we're looking at is in a vacuum, meaning we're just looking at him on his merits on his own, as opposed to building around him, adding things to make him even better. Because he's so cheap, it's very easy to add things and not take up a chunk of your points, right? Because he's only 50 points. You really don't need to do that much to make this guy better than he already is, right? So like I said, full move charge, flurry, exploit, quake. He moves 11, add in a little TK, perplex, whatever, he can get there all the way through. And he has charge and exploit the whole dial. So let's say he even gets hit a little bit before, he still has charge, he still has exploit. So he's still doing penetrating damage with that attack. And then he has a trait where he moves away after he hits. I'm not even sure We're gonna have to double check that. All right, but when he hits, he moves away, and he ignores characters when he does that. So when he hits with a flurry attack hitting twice, he's moving. He's moving half his move value. So he's moving 6 and 6. He's moving 12 squares back. So he's getting away from danger. And then he has a reincarnation token from his trait, where if he KOs something, whether it's a bystander or a Colossus or whatever, he gets a reincarnation token, which basically gives him Living Legend almost, where instead of him dying, he'll come back and click 7. So if he's coming in with a full charge with his Quake exploit, and they're able to, they didn't position correctly, and he's able to hit like a couple Colossals, a couple, a Flash or a Bystander or whatever, he can get like 3 or 4 of those reincarnation tokens. And unless you have like Pulse Wave to get when he's on his last click, he's just going to keep coming back and click 7. For 50 points, that's a lot of resources on your end to put into taking him out, right? He's only 1/6 of the team. And then, of course, the icing on the cake here is Outwit. So after he does his thing, if you see fit, you don't have to move that far away. You can use Outwit with him, for the next attack or prevent them from counterattacking you. The Outwit is something that's less useful because for the most part, when he's charging in, he won't be using that Outwit because he's too far away. And in the same token, when he moves away after he hits, he's not using Outwit as well. Again, because if he's moving 12 away, he's too far to use Outwit. So all of that into this little 50-point guy is only four clicks. His defense is only 17 with deflection, maybe toughness on the back, 16. He's actually not hard to hit. It's just he's hard to kill because once he gets that reincarnation token, makes him that much tougher. Of course, the trick is trying to get to him before he gets to you, or at least get him off of that full move charge, which he has on the first click and the last click. So, what are some defenses against it? Strategies. There are 3 main strategies that I think you would have to look at if you want to combat a Sky Tyrant metagame, right? Because when I say the metagame, it's the entire environment, right? It doesn't mean it's competitive. It means the entire environment of what you're going into. And Sky Tyrant's very easy. He has a lot of friends to play with. He's got, Blackheart and the monsters. In Bronze, that's very easy because he could just play with Groot as well, Surtur and whatnot. And then he's got Past, so he can be on Latveria teams with Doom. And then he can be, of course, on the Secret 6 team, which that's where maybe he's the best because when they use Outwit, they can't use a Safeguard Outwit. So maybe, it depends. But he's also a ruler and a warrior, so characters like maybe Emperor Gladiator or even Jason of Sparta, those are all friends of his, right? Even Wonder Woman. So he's easily slotted in on teams, so that's why he's very prevalent because he's easy. You don't have to build around him. He's only 50 points. Now, the first strategy is barrier. Okay, in Modern and in Bronze to a lesser extent, the number one way to defend against him is to play Molecule Man or Spin Ring, or just people that can do barrier for a bunch of barrier or free barrier. So like, you could play something like Isaac can make a Lord Guy and he can barrier around. Molecule Man barriers and then he smokes and rolls to make more blocking. You could play Proteus to barrier around. Just basically you need to stop him from coming through. Because unless he's going to be a giant and you're an outdoor, he won't be able to reach over and hit somebody. Of course, you would have to pay a lot of points for that. Now that's a little bit tough, right? Because you're going to have to play Molecule Man. Maybe you're already playing him, so he's already good regardless. But because of the menace of Alpha Strike teams, Molecule Man has become a staple for defensive strategies. So barrier is one. Number 2, and if you've watched the game between the animals and the Secret 6 on the Superhero Showdown, you can see the best way to combat an Alpha Strike team that's close combat base is to spread out, right? So I'll put the link to that game so you guys can watch it. But essentially the idea is if you spread them all out, Sky Tyrant can't hit them all. Because between his Flurry, Quake, and Exploit, he can do a lot of damage, right? So if you're able to spread your team out to maybe he has to target only one portion, obviously you don't want to bunch up because you don't want him to come in there and just hit multiple people at once. But if he has to choose, now it lessens your losses, right? So he's going to have to choose where to go. Maybe you minimize your damage and then you can go counterattack. That's another one. Of course, when I say spread out, you're also going to need to have a lot of characters on your team so that if he does take someone out, you still have enough to counterattack. You don't want it to only be your one guy that could take a hit, that hits him, that gets hit from him and then dies. And then the third one is to just play like hard to kill pieces, Undying tech, something like that. So pieces like in bronze, you play like Deadman, Haha Joker, maybe even like a piece like Darwin. Things that have multiple stop clicks. Basically, he can't get his reincarnation token. That's the main reason. If you can prevent him from getting his reincarnation tokens, then he's easier to kill because when you counterattack him, it's only 4 clicks, and then he dies. But if he has a reincarnation token, doing 4 is like doing. You have to do 2 attacks, one for 4 and the other one for 1. So that's more resources on your end to try to expend to try to take him out. Now, you don't have to play those kind of Undying, hard to kill Undying, stop clicks. You don't have to do that. An example for pieces like that would be like High Evolutionary. Even though there are only 2 clicks, they have like stop clicks. It takes more for him to kill. Now, if you have a piece that has a deeper dial that can take a hit from him, and then maybe you steal energy, you heal, regen, whatever, then you could take the hit because he's still not going to get the reincarnation token. But you can still take a flurry hit, but he won't die. Pieces that can reduce penetrating damage, pieces that have invincible, prevent the exploit from coming through. So even if he's coming in with like a pumped up damage to like 4 or 5, and you have invincible or invul or imperv, and you can reduce it, you're only taking like 4 or 5 damage, and then you can come back and kill him. He's not going to get the reincarnation though. Now on the other hand, some of the teams that can employ Sky Tyrant are gonna soup up the attack and damage in the form of like power gem. So now he's gonna be attacking for 12 for 5 damage. They're gonna have TK to TK him out, and then he can move. Characters like Flash and Mr. Oz can just basically TK for 8 and then go. Same with Venom Magneto, TK basically 8 and then go. And then he can use Waldo Arms for Giant Reach and get the extra attack. He can use, like I said, he use Power Gem. Those are the 2 main ones. But they need to go first in order for them to be able to equip and then go. Because if you go first, they're going to equip and then they die, or you pass your turn and go kill them. So we're not even going to talk about that part of it. Just know that for like basically under 100 points, a Sky Tyrant team can build a very efficient team, and it's not going to take up more than a third of the build. So they can still have another 200 points of something else. So just keep that in mind when you're going against it, because maybe you build against Sky Tyrant, but you also need to look at what the rest of the opponent's team is doing. So, but that's another discussion for another day. We're just talking about Sky Tyrant. But yeah, those are the 3 defense strategies I think you can employ against them. I don't know. Of course, they can always miss, right? But someone once famously said, "Hope is not a strategy." So don't hope. If you're gonna hope on them missing, don't even try. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully that was informative. You guys find out more about Sky Tyrant. Hopefully you can employ some of these strategies against them, and let me know what you guys come up with on your end. If you have any other strategies to face Sky Tyrant, or ways to beat him, withstand him, whatever you want to say. But yeah, that's it. So I'll be back with more videos. We'll be going over legacy cards from the New War of Realms. We're going to be going more topics kind of like this, so we're just going to be more than just reviews, just more strategy and stuff like that. So more unboxing too, so be on the lookout for that. But please like, subscribe, comment. The subscribers have been going up quite a bit, so thank you all for the support, and see you next time. And remember, till next time, only bad players blame the dice. See ya.